Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the 1985 Wave 2 Superpowers figure Martian Manhunter. The first wave of Kenner's Superpowers figures came out in 1984 and sold extremely well, but pretty much all of DC's A-list superheroes were included in Wave 1, which consisted of Batman and Robin, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, The Flash, and Hawkman. These days, toy companies just release different versions of the same main characters over and over, but back in 1985, when Wave 2 of the Superpowers collection came out, Kenner released 5 new superheroes who weren't as famous as the characters from Wave 1. The Wave 2 superheroes were Firestorm, Green Arrow, Dr. Fate, Red Tornado, and Martian Manhunter. Firestorm may have been relatively well known at the time because he was featured a fair amount on the 1984 Super Friends Legendary Superpowers show, and he also had his own comic book out at the time. Green Arrow may have also been relatively well known due to his regular appearances in several popular comic books such as Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Justice League, Brave and the Bold, and World's Finest, but outside of the comic books and a few random appearances here and there, Green Arrow wasn't exactly an A-list character either. The other 3, Dr. Fate, Red Tornado, and Martian Manhunter, were pretty much unknowns unless you were heavily into DC Comics. However, once the first wave of characters had been released, DC was out of A-list characters and had to dig a little bit deeper if they were going to go into a second wave. Martian Manhunter's first appearance was in Detective Comics in November of 1955. This is considered by some to be the beginning of the Silver Age of comics, although the redesign of The Flash from issue number 4 of Showcase in October of 1956 is the more common starting point for the Silver Age. In March of 1960, the first appearance of the Justice League of America included Martian Manhunter as one of the 7 original members, along with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and The Flash, in issue number 28 of The Brave and the Bold. Throughout the Silver Age, Martian Manhunter and his alter ego, Detective John Jones, appeared regularly as the backup story in Detective Comics. Martian Manhunter was also often a featured character in the Justice League of America comic book. He appeared in several other DC comic books throughout the years as well. However, when Kenner released this figure in 1985, Martian Manhunter hadn't appeared outside of the comic books in movies or TV shows like many of the other characters had. Many of Martian Manhunter's powers are similar to Superman's powers, such as incredible strength and speed, flight, and heat vision. However, in addition to many of Superman's powers, Martian Manhunter also has a genius-level intelligence that rivals Batman, plus he's a shapeshifter with telepathic and telekinetic powers who can turn invisible and shift his body to walk through walls or even let a punch or a bullet go right through him. In other words, he's one of the most powerful superheroes ever. Still, despite being a powerful superhero who had appeared in numerous comic books over the 30 years prior to the action figure's release, many people had never heard of Martian Manhunter when he appeared in the second wave of Kenner's Superpowers figures in 1985. Each Superpowers action figure featured a power action gimmick. For example, if you squeeze Aquaman's arms together, his legs kick. This feature was called his Power Action Deep Sea Kick. The Joker figure can hold a giant green mallet in his right hand. When you squeeze his legs together, his right arm comes down and he can smash things with his mallet. This feature was called his Power Action Madcap Mallet. It would have been difficult to create a power action for Martian Manhunter to shapeshift or shoot a heat beam from his eyes, so Kenner gave him a Power Action Martian Punch, which was basically the same action as Superman, Batman, and Firestorm. When you squeeze their legs together, their arms punch. Each figure in Waves 1 and 2 came with a comic book, and Martian Manhunter was no exception. His comic book was number 14, but it's also fairly common to find the comic book without a number at all. On the back of each package, Kenner printed clip and save bio cards for each character. The comic book and the bio card gave kids an idea of who these superheroes were in case they weren't familiar with the characters. Although most kids knew the characters from Wave 1, there were many characters that might have been unfamiliar to them that were released in Wave 2. There were several variations of the packaging for Martian Manhunter. Most of the variations were simply different special offers available on very similar cards. One offer was for a Superman cape, while another was for the fan club. But there was one package that was very different from the rest. Often referred to as the narrow card package, 8 of the Superpowers figures from Waves 1 and 2 were released on smaller cards as part of a Canadian gas station promotion. The 8 figures featured were Superman, Batman, Robin, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Firestorm, Red Tornado, and Martian Manhunter. These figures did not come with a comic book or a bio card. I clearly remember seeing the commercials for the Superpowers action figures on TV as a kid. In fact, the one I remember the best had Robin tied to a kitchen timer that was supposed to be the timer on a bomb. All of the superheroes were trying to rescue Robin before time ran out. It was a great commercial, and it really made me want the figures, but for some reason, I never picked them up. On top of that, I read a lot of comic books as a kid, and since DC owned the rights to all of these figures, it's no surprise that they advertised the Superpowers collection on the back of a lot of their comic books. I'm not sure why I never got any Superpowers figures when they were out in stores when I was a kid, but when I was a teenager, I picked up a few at a flea market, and that's what started my collection. At this point, I have quite a few Superpowers figures, comic books, and even some still in the package. I think they're a great line of toys, and I hope to eventually collect them all. So did you have Kenner Superpowers figures as a kid, or do you collect them now? If so, which one was your favorite? Did you ever have the Superpowers Martian Manhunter figure? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you have a chance, it would be great if you would share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about ToyLanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit ToyLanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.